Let's begin with an exercise. You may choose to close your eyes and fully immerse yourself with your thoughts for the next few minutes. It is late in the afternoon and you have just finished your workday. It's been typical, busy, but let's run through the whole day together. You slept okay. You only hit the snooze button once, not too stiff. Take a few deep breaths, stretch your arms overhead, make your bed before you brush your teeth. You feed your animals, maybe you let your dogs out or even take them for a walk. You prepare yourself a coffee and you help your family get ready for the day, mentally running through the day's schedule, breakfasts, vitamins, off to school, off to work, a note to visit the grocery store later. You get yourself dressed. You need to be leaving soon. You're anticipating some traffic. And it's colder than usual, so the car needs to be heated up before you head out. You check to make sure you have everything you need for work, and you're off. You don't want to waste time, so you put a podcast on during your commute. It's only a few moments of straight thoughts about what you'll be eating today. You have a meeting with your boss. There's a presentation, a report due at the end of the week. It's Monday, so what did I not finish from the week before? Wait, what did they just say? Rewind the podcast. Now back to driving. Now you arrive to your workplace safely. Up the stairs, quick hellos, a visit to the break room for some tea. There's nothing out of the ordinary so far, right?
I'll take a moment to reflect about how much mental and physical energy you have been spending before you've even sat down at your desk at work.
Your workday's typical. Periods of productivity, focus, short breaks, some general socialization. At lunch, you get a few minutes more with that podcast. Check your phone. No urgent text from the family yet. A lot of sitting throughout this day, though, so it's a good thing you have planned to work out later.
And more mental energy is being spent.
Now let's jump ahead. You already went to the grocery store. Now you're at the gym, or maybe back at home, dressed and ready for your workout. Your trainer has set a reasonable goal for you today to perform 10 reps of an exercise that you've been working up to over the last few weeks. So you try, and you can only do 7. Rest. Try again. 8. Rest a little longer. 8. Again, there is just no way you're doing 10 today, but you'll keep training and building the muscles. You are now physically tired, hungry, a little discouraged with that one exercise, but you need to put your attention elsewhere for the evening. Shower, family, meals, homework, emails, TV, and the other long list of things you want to do or are supposed to do to get a good night's sleep. Overall, not a bad day. Now, open your eyes.
Imagine again what your muscles must have felt like to reach that fatigue point when you were trying to do 10 reps of the exercise. Now, I'm sure you have tried to lift heavy things in the past, or you've reached the point where muscles needed to rest in order for them to regain their function. This ability to perform physical movements, any type of work, handle any additional load, is called physical performance. Your muscles need to rest between the sets. You also need to start with a certain amount of strength in the beginning. We call this the strength reserve. If you're not starting with what you need in your reserve, you simply will not be able to do this. Your reserves are finite. If you could only perform 8 reps, you already know what that felt like. When you started the exercise, you had a certain amount of strength. And once that strength is used, it's done. The same holds true for your brain. So when you start your day, you have a certain amount of mental strength, which we call cognitive reserve. Now imagine this reserve as marbles. Every time you do something that requires you to use your brain, you have to spend a marble. So as you went through your imaginary day, can you think or feel how those marbles are being spent? And can you see the impact it has on your performance?
Your ability for your brain to perform, process information, make decisions, solve problems, or handle that additional mental load is called your cognitive performance. Your physical reserve for the exercise required a certain amount of strength, education, training, and nutrition. And in order for your brain to be able to think, conceptualize, plan, and respond, it also needs a certain amount of strength, education, training, nutrition, and resilience to be able to manage the normal stuff, let alone whatever else is unexpectedly thrown your way during your day.
Or you can only spend your marbles up to a certain point, and then there's nothing else to spend from. And at this point, you're switching from your thinking mode to an emotional mode. And it's not a place where you really want to be. Because from this moment on, when your marbles are spent, you're starting to drain on different resources of your body. Well, that includes cortisol related pathways. And this is where you start to pay with your physical and mental health. We're going to cover this topic in more detail in our future podcast episodes. Now, the good news is that just like the muscles need rest before they grow stronger, the brain needs to rest as well. So your cognitive performance and cognitive reserves can be trained and improved. And don't forget that as we're aging, the amount of marbles that we can spend every day will continue to decrease. There are two things that you can do. You can reduce your daily spend of marbles, and you can increase the number of marbles that you have in your reserve.
When you work on your biceps, for example, over time, there are benefits and outputs. You can lift heavier weight. You can help your friend move. You can play a sport longer. And you also look different. It changes your physique. There's muscle tone, and maybe the circumference of your arm changes too.
When doing cognitive conditioning, there are visible and noticeable outcomes as well, and they will benefit you every day. Some of them are actually more beneficial than you would get from working out your muscles. So, for example, the benefits include reduced anxiety, the ability to face your fears better, ability to increase your life satisfaction. You will not be easily distracted or thrown off when something unexpected happens during your day. You will not be carried away in social situations. You'll be able to learn faster, and you'll be able to apply that knowledge in practice every day. You will be able to predict the outcomes of your decisions with better accuracy. You'll interact with people in a different way. You might be able to build better relationships. You'll be able to outperform your coworkers or competitors at work. You will be less likely to engage in behaviors that are self-damaging, and you'll be better able to maximize your true potential. And on top of all that, there are health benefits and longevity benefits that are directly related to improved cognitive performance.
Now, it's important for us to note here that this is not the same as a mindset shift. In the wellness and longevity industry, we see mindset shift defined as reframe your limiting beliefs, adopt a new perspective or commitment when you work towards a specific goal or take new accountability. And while that's all generally positive, that way of thinking isn't about the science behind brain health or improving cognition. And you need to build your cognitive performance to become clearer first on your priorities, set your goals, and do the work without first spending marbles on something like a mindset shift itself.
Over the next week, try to evaluate for yourself how many marbles do you start your day with. Everyone will have a different amount to start with. Are you already mentally exhausted before you even reach your work? Well, be aware of your own spend. Identify specific times or tasks that you find draining, and try to implement simple habits that would become automated.
Right. For example, you've probably heard several times keep all your workout gear together. Why? Because it becomes automated and reduces your spend. So, over this week, if this is something you struggle with, bring your resistance bands upstairs, put your Pilates mat somewhere visible, or keep your shoes by the door or in your car. I'll give you another example. If by the time you're in the grocery store after work and you're finding it difficult to make healthy choices because you feel hungry, have something before you go. Something small, some simple sugar, fiber, little protein. Why? Reduce the spend. And then the next time you plan to go shopping, do it again. These are really simple examples, but these small things work. And we both have put a few in place along the way.
Another thing you can try to reduce the spend of your marbles or to regenerate the marbles you have already spent that day is to allow your brain to rest or even get some sleep. Like when you try to do the reps during the physical exercise, rest is required for the muscles. The time where you're not using them is essential for them to perform. And rest is essential for your brain. Scrolling through social media when you're sitting at home after a hard day of work is not rest. Rest for your brain means that you need to stop processing new information. And if you find that you need a break during the day, when you're evaluating how many marbles you still have in your reserve, try to just sit down with yourself, even for 5 minutes. No new information, no distractions, no stimuli. Just try it out. And if you're cognitively weak, this might prove to be a very difficult thing to do.
When you identify that specific area where you are cognitively weak, but you're not sure what or how to implement a solution that doesn't cost you elsewhere, you're actually in a good place. And this is part of what cognitive conditioning is. Cognitive performance training is part of every program we do because it's fundamental to achieving any goal.
In mid-January, we'll be hosting a cognitive performance masterclass where you will be able to make progress on any personal or professional goal. You'll become more aware of your own reserves, your spend, and you will learn new things that you can do not to lose your marbles too fast.
Reserve your spot for the masterclass by sending us a message through LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or email info@solutionsmakers.com.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you shortly in a few weeks.